Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Let's see another story. Who has a story in Punch?
All right, so I have the story concerning flooding. I mean, I went to a supermarket yesterday after church, and I mean, I was in church, so I wasn't privy to the extent of rain. Yes, came out, went into a supermarket. By the time I was out of the supermarket, it was flooded.
Wow.
So this is a huge concern. Now, according to reports in Punch newspaper, residents and motorists in several parts of Lagos and Ogun State on Saturday were left stranded due to the hours of intense rain, with major roads overrun by floods. Now, according to correspondents, they say the Agege, Akowonjo, Egbeda areas in Lagos and Mayegu Junction area of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, they had observed that motorists and residents were stranded for hours as a result of the downpour. So a lot of locations in Lagos are actually confronted with this particular problem. And even more worrisome is the fact that the federal government before now, 6 days ago, had written several governors to give them an alert that according to reports, impending flooding in 31 states is what is looming. Only 6 states were really, spared, from this list. That's not to say that they might not have issues with flooding, but according to the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, he said this while he was briefing journalists on the 2024 annual flood outlook for the country. So we need to prepare, is what he's saying. A total of 148 local government areas in Lagos, Kano, Delta, and 28 other states have been categorized as high flood risk areas. In this light, I really have to commend the Lagos state government, because right now they're working on the Abraham Adesoya all the way to the Eleko roads, and the huge gully of drainages that they are actually putting in place is so beautiful. Yeah. It gives me peace of mind knowing that I do not think that in that access we would have issues with flooding on major ways, but we know that we also have a personal sense of commitment towards ensuring that we...
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's a
plugging our canals,
both people,
building on canals.
The rains we've
people
had
and the
so
government
far have been really, really heavy. There's a large, like when I felt the ground, All
right, let me take this story from Kwara State. So the government of Kwara State on Sunday ordered a temporary shutdown of the abattoir at the Mandates Market in Ilorin, following the alleged sale of poisonous cow meat in the market. The government, in a statement by the Ministry of Environment, ordered the immediate general cleaning and fumigation of the abattoir so as to cleanse the suspected meat poisoning. Really, really said, that's scary. Actually, people really bought this poisonous meat. He said that the decision was part of the efforts to protect members of the public after a non-governmental organization, Kwara Monitoring Group, raised the alarm that meat from 33 cows, which allegedly died of poisoning, had found its way to the market sale for public consumption, and that was a really scary situation.
They decided to sell their dead cow.
This story reminds me too of some story on social media. I don't know if you saw it, where a catfish producer, her neighbor had gone to poison her fish.
Oh my Lord! And then
she put it into the oven and roast, and of course she was going to sell it.
She didn't know now.
Why do we? No, she knew that it was poison because if fish all died.
In her mind, the heat would have. She didn't want to lose the money. Daily Sun, very quickly, ex-governor Bello, EFCC, waits on court. Hands off Kanu's case, IPOP tells Justice Nyako. New Nigeria possible with right leaders in government, Obi tells diaspora Nigerians. Nigeria set to receive $2.25 billion World Bank loan, says Wali Edun. 180 bodies found in mass grave at hospital in Gaza. We generated over 22 billion naira in a day, says on customs. NDLEA arrests 3 wanted kingpins, seizes 51.90 kg heroin. NPO, BON, civil society faults use of force by military on civil cases. And Reps Deputy Speaker, Igbo youth celebrates Kalu at 64. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Okay.
In Daily Sun.
NPA, the Nigerian Press Organization, that's the NPO, and the Broadcast Organization of Nigeria, that's BON, and all the civil society groups have yesterday faulted the use of excessive force. According to them, civil cases should be handled by the Nigerian police force. But we've seen in recent times that people would involve military officers, so they called it militarization of civil issues. The statement was signed by many, a lot of all the NGOs, many press organizations, NUJ, NPAN, everybody that is involved in the broadcast industry signed it. And according to them, the military authorities said they acted to forestall a potential threat to national security that will have been reported. They will have reported the matter to the national media Complaints Commission Ombudsman. So there's an issue that involved the media where the military was used. The Defense Intelligence Agency requested a meeting with the NPO and Bond to resolve the issue, but they still feel like beyond the issue that happened within the media space, there are several other cases that happen outside that has no business. It's civil. Police should be the one to handle it, and the military end up using excessive force, hurting people in the process of a civil matter that could easily be resolved. So I'm joining voices with the NPO and the BON to say that let Nigerians stop dragging military into civilian cases and let the military also confine themselves to dealing with what they are meant to deal with.
Okay, any other story?
So the federal government is set to receive around 2.2 billion single-digit interest loan from the World Bank and another budget support facility from African Development Bank. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, was the one who disclosed this at a briefing at the end of Nigeria's activities at the World Bank International Monetary Fund spring meeting, which happened in Washington, D.C. And he said the sources of international funding for Nigeria so far has been the diaspora remittances, foreign portfolio investments, and facilities from the World Bank and other international development partners. He says we have qualified for the processing just this week to the board of directors of the World Bank of a total pack of 2.25 billion of what you can call the closest you can get to a free lunch, virtually a grant. It's for about 10 to 20 years moratorium and about 1% interest rate.
Wow.
You know, this is what we've been saying, that you don't give us loans and then put a lot of interest rates. While we're still struggling to pay back the loans, we're struggling to pay back the interest. It seems like we're not getting anywhere. But for us to get a loan that's almost free, you know, we just need to pay back the original amount we've got. I think
and you get those kind of grants when the country, people see that, okay, they're making certain decisions.
Yes.
People
The
say,
policies
okay, policies are
favorable.
Yeah, so definitely they'd like to give you money. So the spokesperson for IPOB, Mr. Ima Powerful, in a statement yesterday, accused Justice Binta Nyako, that's the Abuja High Court judge, to redeem herself, image and hands of their leader's case. According to him, he's saying he's accusing her that she's made herself an interest in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. Instead of being a non-partisan and unbiased judge, a judge that has no control over her court should not handle a high-profile case like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Justice Binta, according to him, should redeem herself and recuse herself or step down from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case because she's already compromised and controlled by those who sent her because of her political. And these are just accusations, but this is based on Ima Powerful's allegations. Moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Top manufacturers list woes, incur 266 billion naira losses in a year. Intrigues as new Ganduje Ward ESCO emerges, suspends national chairman. Nigeria set to receive fresh $2.2 billion World Bank loan, says Edun. PDP, why Wike was allowed into National Caucus meeting. Ondo Guba, protests as 4 APC aspirants call for primary cancellation. And DIA versus Olatunji, NPAN, NGA, NPO, Obo and others refer dispute to Ombudsman. I think we're taking most of the stories in this paper. Let's move on quickly to, unless there's a story I've not taken.
I have a story concerning organ trafficking, organ harvesting rather. So in Abuja, there's an ongoing case involving the Alliance Hospital and Services Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Christopher Otabor, and 3 others who allegedly were involved in organ harvesting. Now, the House of Rep Committee on Public Petitions has ordered the defendants to go back to court and defend themselves. This was contained in a statement by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, according to the communications officer yesterday. Now, this statement said it will be recalled that NAPTIP had arraigned the 51-year-old Dr. Christopher Otabor and 3 others before High Court in the FCT for alleged organ kidney harvest on March 18, 2024. Now, those who were mentioned with him are Emmanuel Olorunlaye, Chikaodili Ugochukwu, and Dr. Aremu Abayomi. So now they've been ordered, even though they're currently on court bail, the defendants have been ordered to report to NAPTIP headquarters and surrender their travel documents to court.
All right, our final paper this morning, Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story we've not taken. I think the NDLEA, who has that arrest 3 wanted drug kingpins, intercepts Oman-bound drug consignment. Let's just take that story.
Yeah, so first of all, the NDLA went ahead to warn travelers who are busy taking luggages for other people because they found this 2 PhD students. One had helped the friend to, take his luggage, only for them to find that he was conveying some codeine packed inside. And so they said, you must be very careful. Then they have been tracing these 3 kingpins, which they had finally, arrested. It said they specialize in illicit drug trafficking across Nigeria, South Africa, Mozambique, Europe, America. And, they have seized them. Single largest consignment of heroin at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, a total of 51.90 kilograms of heroin recovered from members of the drug cartel in an operation. They started this operation from February 10 at Sako Import Shed of the airport's cargo terminal. And they said the consignment was concealed in 15 cartons of 2,300 watt metal cutting machines with no less than 45 blocks of illicit substance weighing 49.70 kilograms from the equipment. They also went ahead to give a list of other people that they have arrested.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.